Hello everyone, this is Shad Race from SCAI 2024. I'm really privileged to be with no introduction needed, Dr. Michael Gibson, who is the keynote speaker for SCAI Scientific Session 2024. Dr. Gibson, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So Dr. Gibson, you're keynote speaker, and one of the highlight or the quotes from your talk is the visual athlete as physician, as cardiologist. So tell us where this term came from and what do you mean?
Well, it is the Society for Cardiac Angiography and Intervention, so I thought I'd talk about angiography. I've been an angiographer for 37 years now, and I'm also a painter. So I think it's important to be a visual athlete. That is, being so good that you see, for instance, what other people may miss. And really training your eye and your brain to really analyze images in a way that really improves care and takes great care of your patients. So I tell the story of how I began at the Brigham. There's 27 films on the floor. No one knew how to analyze them. They were films. They weren't CDs. And there was this crank, and you cranked the film and it went underneath a microscope slide thing and then got digitized. So it's like Fred Flintstones, and I learned angiography one frame at a time. And the reason I want to tell the story is because it's really important to be a data collector. There's so much emphasis these days on publishing something and getting data and writing papers, but I began by collecting data for 3 years, staring frame by frame at angiograms for 3 years. Braunwald then asked me could you be the TIMI angiographic core lab? And I said, no, I'm just, this frame to frame variance is too much, and I'm really scared the computers aren't that good. And Don Baim said, don't listen to him. Of course Mike wants to do it. And so I reluctantly did it. And then I was scared I was going to lose my job because I had never looked at films at speed, and he wanted to say if something is normal or not. So it was really taking that whole lesson of counting how many frames it took for dye to go down the artery as a measurement of velocity. Yes. And that way I could justify why something was TIMI grade 3 or TIMI grade 2, and I wouldn't get fired. So basically I was trying to not get fired. But that kind of close inspection of the film and inventing the TIMI frame count, last week there's a paper published using the TIMI frame count to now non-invasively assess the IMR. So you don't have to use a wire, you just use the angiogram and the TIMI frame count and some differences in blood pressure. So 25 years, it's still the gift that keeps giving. And of course my other interest is in the microvasculature. I painted angiograms, and my mother...
I see those paintings for sure.
Facebook
and Twitter.
Yeah. My mother had said, once you paint a cloud, you'll never look at a cloud the same again. And there was this cloud of dye. And I said, we got to look at that cloud of dye. And that was the myocardial blush.
So these are very kind of enlightening stories, especially to tell us about how it started. We take a lot of things for granted, especially the recent generation of interventional cardiologists. We show up, technology is great, images crisp, right? I mean, minimal work to get something done. So definitely we have to take this to the next level. So what's your advice for the current generation and how we can move this field forward?
Well, there's plenty of things to see on IVUS and OCT, so hopefully they'll use their eyes there. There's still lots to learn from the angiogram, I'm convinced. But I think the key thing for this generation is make sure you're being safe. Don't be old like me and wake up with numb arms and numb legs and pain. Take good care of yourselves, minimize the lead use, take advantage of all the new safety things. I think the most important thing is being highly focused, and you're old enough now to know that it really takes grit, just staying at it. You're going to have a lot of obstacles. Stick with it and never ever give up.
Final question is, and I think this is personal to you, were you always been an artist, or this is something you picked up on the
My mother was an artist, and so I grew up with it, but she seemed to get worse when she got formal training, so I decided I would never get formal training. She was always so depressed and upset, so I said, I'm never going to do that. So I just learned from her, but mostly self-taught. It's a labor of love.
Beautiful art as always, we see it. I mean, you should
Thank
follow
you.
Dr. Gibson on Twitter and Facebook, and it's phenomenal. Dr. Gibson, thank you again for enlightening us about being a good angiographic physician and look at the image carefully. And then congratulations for being the keynote speaker for scientific session. Watch these videos and others on SCAI-TV. This is Shadi Reis from Long Beach. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.